All right, Oval fans. Now, it's been a question I've been getting since last week on the Oval, and that's the fact, or the question of, do Victoria and Hunter love their kids? Before we get started, can you show the Oval videos some loves? I'm not going to quit reviewing the show, but I've noticed that the Oval, my content pales in comparison to Sisters, which is understandable because Sisters is the bigger show, but the Oval still has a solid fan base and ratings. But I've just noticed that my Oval videos don't do very well, hence why I don't do a crazy amount of them. That's not to say there aren't elements to talk about, but I just really noticed, like, the views really aren't there. They aren't bad, like, let's say Bruh or Sister Living, but they just aren't super good like they used to be. So if you could watch the Oval content, if you're interested, I'd really appreciate it. Now, I want to be completely honest here. When you go back to the haves and the have-nots and look at David and Veronica and their marriage, or former marriage, or Jim and Catherine, the question was, do they love each other? And I always said, deep down, I feel like they always will love each other, but they're too proud to admit it. But when you look at Victoria and Hunter and the kids, I don't know if it's a question of, do Victoria and Hunter love their kids? I feel like Victoria is the person to really talk about. Hunter, in my opinion, he's a negligent father, but I do feel he loves Gail and Jason. It's just the fact that he's too caught up in his own sexual conquest and all of his other white privilege things that he doesn't really care about his kids in the way a father would. He pretty much like, hey, you know what? I'm a powerful political figure, and I'm talking even before the White House. You have access to things other kids your age don't, so you should appreciate that. It's only when they get in major trouble that he decides to show, hey, I'm a father. I care about you, but I'm sorry that I wasn't there for you. And it's like, yo, your son has killed like 3 people. Lock his ass up. But no, he decides to go and risk it all just for the sake of keeping his family safe, or his kids safe. So I don't think Hunter should be questioned of, does he love his kids? I feel like his tactics of being a parent, which are basically non-existent, it's like covering up any kind of things my kids do. I mean, remember way back in season 1 when Gail was actually part of the show and Barry allegedly assaulted her, and he fired Richard, the father of Barry, and he wanted to make sure the guy that assaulted his daughter was locked away and whatnot and taken care of. But then Victoria revealed the truth, and he was like, what? Go to your room. And that was it. So yeah, Hunter isn't one to question here. I think the question is about Victoria. No, I do not think she cares about her kids. I just feel like it's pretty obvious. Like, she was having that damn near mental breakdown in the Oval, talking about the Wizard of Oz and how I gotta go see the wizard to cry for this bastard. It's like, look, I'm not a parent, so I can't really speak on what a parent should and shouldn't do. I mean, from my own parents, I feel like as a child, I can see how I will not treat my kids when I have children eventually. If I do, I will say that much. But when I look at Victoria, it's kind of like, have we ever seen Victoria go to bat for her kids? I don't think we've really seen that. I mean, I don't think we ever have. I just seen her be a wicked witch. Okay, this is debatable here. Okay, I want to try to say this as carefully as possible without sounding incredibly offensive. You know how they say never put your hands on a woman, which I agree with. But if a woman is beating up on you, let's say pulls a gun, pulls a knife, starts to hit you with a blunt object, I feel like at that point, you're a male in that situation. I don't think it's completely in the wrong to defend yourself. Kind of like Gary in Sisters when, Jasmine was wailing on him in the parking garage with that baseball bat, pouring his mother's urn in the gas tank of the car. There are limits to the whole never put your hands on a woman. That's what I'm saying. There are limits to that. Now, on the flip side, when I think about a parent and their child, parents definitely don't kill your kids. That's, I'm not saying, there's a difference between getting whoopings, beatings abusing, and now it's called child abuse. There's a difference between whooping a child, not beating them to teach them right from wrong. But there's a major difference of, what if your kid is a serial killer who has killed 2 women, has strangled your mother, and attempts to strangle you twice his mother? What would you do? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can understand why Victoria does not love Jason. I'm going to be completely honest. He tried to strangle her twice within the span of 3 minutes at the beginning of season 2. He has actively stalked her, snuck into her bedroom, and threatened to kill her multiple times. So I would not be completely mad at Victoria for not loving Jason. But then again, I am not a parent, so I'm just putting that out there. But let me know your thoughts. Do you think Victoria loves her kids? Hell no. No. I just don't. Even with Gail, it's like, no, because I feel like Gail probably reminds Victoria of who she was when she was younger, kind of in the same way of how Victoria's mother said, you know, your mother was just like you, trying to cause trouble and get away from the family until we sent her away and got her straight. Isn't that right, honey? Yes, mother. So even though I don't know if we're ever going to see Gail again, I would really like to see how she comes back, you know, transformed. But I don't think Victoria loves her kids. I don't even feel like I need to talk further on the subject. But look, if there's been any moment where, you know, here's one thing. I will say this. I feel like in season 1, after they had brunch with their grandmother and Victoria and her kids were on their way back to the White House in the limo, and like they questioned why Victoria's afraid of her mother so much. I feel like at that point, she gave a mother's caution. She gave legitimate concern for her kids. That's like the only time I think we truly saw Victoria give a damn about her kids, but only in the fact of forewarning them, your grandmother, your grandparents, you are not, if you think you can get away with things with me and your father, try that shit with my parents and see what happens. I feel like that's the only time she sounded like a legit mother. But I feel like part of me is like, she's probably only doing that because if her parents have to deal with her kids, that means things will be worse for her. Meaning that I need to keep my kids in line, because if they don't get in line, I'm going to be punished by my parents as well as them. So yeah, that's what I think. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Take a moment to hit the thumbs up button to show you like the video. Hit subscribe because, well, look, we're less than 1,200 people away from 200,000 subscribers. Be a part of the community here, folks. Hit subscribe. Follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. In order to not miss out whenever I post content on the channel, hit the bell icon and select all. And if you would like to donate to the channel, feel free to do so on PayPal or Cash App.